Good afternoon, precious family. Good afternoon, everyone watching us live on Facebook, or if you're going to watch us later on YouTube. I'm super excited to have our guest today. But before I tell you about our guest, if you've been following our podcast before we start doing Facebook Live, you might have stumbled on our podcast with Detola Amure, and which was mind blowing. When I say something is mind blowing, I'm not overstating it. It was actually mind blowing, and I felt like keeping her with me and just continuing to question her. But we had to bring her back because what she does is relevant to the times we are in right now. It's relevant to what's going on in the world. It's relevant to what we are going through as people, as a family, as individuals. So we brought her back on special request so people can, if you're watching us live, if you've got any questions, you can ask it. So you can actually gain from what she does and actually listen to her and gain from what she does. Um, on a quick note, before we actually start having a chat with Detola, I've got a special request. So there's a GoFundMe page set up for a lady called Adeze Inkiruka Onwekuzi, which we will share the link on this live feed later on. There's an urgent request to help save her life. She's actually got cancer and she's in Germany receiving treatment at the moment. So the GoFundMe is set up for £230,000. But as we speak now, the target is £230,000. But what they have is £41,000 roughly. That's what they got at the moment. And every little help. I know that's like Tesco logo, but at this moment, trust me, every little penny, a pound help to meet that target. She's a loving wife and a mother of two twins. And her twins turned 10 a few weeks ago, and she wasn't even there to celebrate with them. I know the family must be going through a lot, and it would be good if we can support in any way we can. I wish I had the money to just put it down, but it's beyond what I can do. So please, I'm appealing to all of us. We know we've all had one person or the other who's had sickness or something, but this, please, can we make sure that we help this woman, that our twins daughter who just turned 10 will not miss their mom, that she's still here with us. While she's still here with us, let's help as much as we can. Thank you so much. So now, sorry about that, Detola, but it was just something that I was just praying on my mind. I was like, I just need to say that out. And I took permission from Tolu, say, you know what, this is a compassionate appeal to everyone, to rise up and help. Yeah. I'm going to pass on to Tolu to do the honors of introducing Detola. And Tolu, over to you.
Hi everyone, just check for a second. There might be an echo, so guys, can we check our settings, see that we're not echoing back so the guests can hear everything we want to say? Just test your systems and make sure there's no double echo. I just try to do the same here. So thank you guys for joining, all the guests. Thank you and God bless you. Detola, wow, it's amazing having you here a second time. And you may not know it, you started off the podcast when we started really small. We're still small, but we're still growing. And the idea then was, we're all about empowering the world and reaching people one person at a time and using the best medium to do that, which is the online platform right now. Though, when we talked to you back then, it was just an audio podcast and we tried to put it on, SoundCloud and different places. And then we started to get feedback. People wanted to see the faces and be a part of the talk. I wanted to be there to actually see and hear. And we thought, okay, let's make it live and let's make it a little bit interactive so people can join. And that's why we thought, gosh, we have to bring Detola back because, we really had fun the first time. It was amazing. Our story is amazing. Now, I'll just leave Detola in a few minutes after introducing to share some of our stories and also take her through, the questions, and she'll be able to impart our lives, empower us, and also we'll hear a little bit about the projects that she's doing, how we can enjoy and be a part of that project. So thank you so much for honoring us today and coming back on Inspirational.
My pleasure.
We're
Thank you.
glad to have you. Thanks, Detola. So I'm going to introduce Detola. She's a productivity and transformational coach. I always love this introduction aspect because, you know, we're hearing about who we're going to be talking to and just about their life and, you know, the power that they're bringing to the table today. So she's a productivity and transformational coach. She's passionate about helping women, especially mothers, discover their purpose so they can birth their dreams confidently. She's the founder of Super Working Mom. So if you look at the title of today's podcast, on there you can see the tag Super Working Mom if you wanted to join that group. It's an amazing group. It's a global organization that aims to help overwhelmed Christian mothers and helps them maximize their time so they can manifest their God-given dreams. Detola is an international speaker, a freelance writer, YouTube podcaster, and author of 4 books. She's married with 4 children under 11, one of whom lives in heaven. After the death of a 7-month-old boy, she qualified as a grief recovery specialist, teaching individuals and groups the action steps to heal from their broken heart due to death, divorce, and other intangible emotional losses. So, I mean, I've had people say to me today, just off the back of doing a little bit of marketing and letting people know about today's program, be like, Tolu, this is what we need right now. The times are weighing right now, what people are going through, we just really need this. And they've been like, I can't wait to hear this live or on repeat or the recorded version. So thank you so much. That's Detola. I'm going to hand over to you, Elizabeth, to take us through this interview. I'm just going to be enjoying the interview with Detola today. Thanks, guys. God bless.
Thank you, Tolu.
Thanks, Dolly, for that wonderful introduction. See, when I said I was so excited to actually speak, to have the chance to interview again, I'm not kidding you. The last time I'm still, see. So before I know we've done a bit of introduction. It would be good if people can actually listen to that podcast because, you know, when you listen, if you're someone that likes seeing people, when you're listening to them, I understand, but this is one that even if you can't see us, when you listen to it, you feel the impact. So if you can, it's live on our Facebook page. It's on our Facebook page. Just listen to that podcast and it will bless you. So Detola, in your own words, I would like you to tell us about your story. Totally briefly mentioned it in your, you shared it with us, but I just want the people that like catching up with us, the fresh, just to know where you're coming from. So in your own words, can you tell us about yourself, about your journey?
Yeah. First of all, I want to say thank you to you, Tolu and Lizzie, for asking me to come back. It is my pleasure, and I am excited to be here with you, ladies. And it's interesting. I've been getting a lot of requests to come share my story. And at first I was like, oh my God, why the sudden attention? But I think it's the topic and the fact that not a lot of people are talking about grief and loss, which is more common than anything. I mean, I think it was Benjamin Franklin that said that the two things that are going to be common or going to happen all the time is taxes and death. But both times, people don't want to talk about taxes and people certainly don't want to talk about death. But it's a topic that we need to begin to talk about. So yeah, if someone told me 2.5 years ago that I'll be talking about this topic, I'll be like, no, like this is so not on my radar. But December 2018, 2 days before Christmas, my 7-month-old baby boy, my twin boy, suddenly passed away. And that was the beginning of a new journey for me. That was the beginning of a new chapter in my life. Obviously, at that point, I was devastated. I was shocked. I was, I don't even know the words to describe how I felt. It's not a pain that I will wish on anyone, not even my enemies. And I don't I try to say I don't have enemies, but sometimes you don't know. It's not something I would wish on anyone. No parent ever imagines or dreams that they would lose a child that God gave them or that they brought into this world. So yeah, losing my child has changed me. The data that used to exist before December 23rd, 2018 does not exist anymore. This is a new me and I'm on a new journey. So in a nutshell, yeah, that was what happened. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Like you said, no one prays to lose, even not just a child. No one prays to lose any loved ones, to be honest. And losing a child, people will expect you to be strong. People expect you to like move on. Like, oh, thank God you've still got the other ones, but they do not understand that journey. And like when we spoke to you, I was like, you brought me into your world in a way. And I was like, whoa. But I thank God that you took that and you used that lesson and that experience to reach out to other people, to help them as they're going through their own journey as well. So we're talking about, because of COVID-19 and all the things that's going on at the moment, there's a lot of trauma to different people at the moment. And when I'm saying trauma, I don't mean, I've got, we know people that have lost relatives or family, siblings or parents to COVID. We've got people that have lost their job. We've got people that were originally fallen. Now they've been made redundant. We've got people that are struggling, even though they're trying to get help from the government, but they're struggling financially, which is having an adverse effect on them. And we've got a lot of people out of work that are actually applying for roles. I was sharing with Tolu that I feel like I'm still in work, but I feel like, let me just test the market and apply. And you're not getting any feedback and anything back. And I said to her, that can actually knock someone's confidence. They're already down there and they're not getting anything back. The loss of loved ones, the loss of jobs, loss of income, all of this adds up and it kind of like have an adverse effect on our confidence So I know you're doing all of this. You can coach people on how to go, all this emotional trauma that we're going through, how to like deal with them, how to like forge ahead, how to like get back on your feet, well, with that confidence intact, So my question to you is this: can you please talk us through all this and how we can get back on our feet and how we can regain our confidence, for some that have lost their confidence, or some that even never did. But I was saying to Tolu that it's not that no one never, it's not like they never had confidence. It's just that something somewhere, it's a word or something from someone that just flip and make them lose whatever they've got. So we want you to please talk to us and talk to people listening on how to get this up and going.
Wow. Yeah, especially if I can chip in how you were able to, because your story for me is the most powerful way of letting people, know how did you do it? You're here looking beautiful. I love those pearls, by the way, they're gorgeous. How did you manage to get over that? Because people are probably thinking, I can never get over that. Like someone was saying to me like that, that's an opportunity for them to go commit suicide because they wouldn't want to leave anymore. You just want to go be. So how did you manage? How did you find the strength to get back on your feet to where you are right now?
Wow, that's fantastic questions all wrapped in one. And I'll try to answer from my story and how people can also get back on their feet. I think for me, one of the first things I did was to acknowledge my pain. Acknowledge my pain. And it's interesting that pain introduces you to yourself. Pain helps you to take a step back and say, okay, what exactly, am I doing? What exactly is going on here? So acknowledging that, okay, I've lost my son. What is the way forward? And then I cannot discount the place of God. I mean, I'm not sure the type of audience listening, if they're people of faith or not, but the place of faith matters a lot.
Mm.
Going back to your creator, God, and let him answer your questions, because no one else is going to be able to give you answers. We're all human. Only God is, supreme. He's the only sovereign one that has all the answers. He might not necessarily give you all the answers, but he will give you something, to give you some relief, because there's the place of you feeling guilty. Was it something I did or didn't do that caused this? Why has this happened? So those type of questions. I was really angry when my son passed away, and I remember I would, sometimes I could see myself shouting at God, like, why would you let this happen? But the good thing is that he can handle that. So I went back to God. And when I say went back to God, I meant, I did a lot of journaling, reflecting, because I just, it was a very uncomfortable place to be. It was very painful emotionally, but even physically, I felt like the world had stopped for me. So acknowledging, how I felt, and then also taking care of my mental health, because there were lots of negative comments, not intentionally, I must say. I'm trying to be gracious here. Because we haven't been taught as a society how to deal with grief and loss, people say things that they think are helpful, but they are not emotionally helpful. They might sound intellectually fine, but emotionally they don't help. So saying things like, oh, be grateful, at least you have 3 other children, or maybe someone who lost their first pregnancy or something, you saying things like, oh, at least you can get pregnant, you can get pregnant again. Those are not the type of things to be saying to someone who has just lost. Even if it's losing a job, oh, you can always get a new job. No, we need to acknowledge what they have lost, because that job is different from any other job they will have. That child is the relationship with that child is going to be different. Or even with, if it's a parent that you lost, whatever it is you lost, as a society, we need to let people grieve their loss and not brush it off and say things like, oh, be strong, don't feel bad, oh, don't cry, the joy of the Lord is your strength. All of those things sound really, they sound really nice. But for the person who is grieving, that is not what they need. They just need you to listen and acknowledge with them their pain. So the point I'm trying to make here is, if anyone is giving you comments that are not helpful for you, especially in the early days, please stay away from them, because you already feel bad enough, right? And now they think they're helping, but they're not. So if it means
the comments,
yeah, don't pick up phone calls. And again, the truth of the matter is, not everyone can handle all the different faces of your story. So some people are going to fall away and say, oh, you've become this moody person, you've become this depressed person. But that is the reality of things. You have lost, and you need to acknowledge it. You need to grieve. And so if people cannot handle that part of you, then let them be, because you're going to rise up again. You will rise up again. So surround yourself with people who encourage you, who support you. When people help, if they want to help, please let them, because at that point you can't really do much for yourself. So, so I've said, acknowledge your pain, take care of your mental health, let people help you, take the support of others. If it, again, I'm trying not to make it too blanket, but I'm just giving, generic things that people can take away and use if they're going through something that they've lost. And then to now get your confidence back, you now need to look deeper. There's a new you waiting to emerge after you've lost that job, after you've lost that marriage, after you've lost that loved one. There's a new you inside that wants to come out. Like I said, pain introduces you to yourself. So get acquainted with yourself. Right now, I actually feel like I'm more in tune with myself than I was before, because I've taken time to just let it be me and God and my journal. I love to journal a lot. So, think again, what are my strengths? What are those things that make me unique, that make me special? Begin to think on those things, begin to act on those things. And gradually, as the pain eases, and it will ease, but when I say ease, I mean you need to do some action work for it to ease. And that's part of what I do as a grief recovery specialist. find ways to begin to pour into the lives of others, because as you do that, it helps you heal as well. So even if it's a job you've lost, it's so funny when we reach out to others and we help others, it always comes back to us. So maybe you found a job that you don't necessarily, it's not necessarily your specs or whatever, but you know someone else searching for that job. You can send that, you can send that job spec to them, instead of just saying, oh, it's not my job spec, and just ignore it. Send it off to them. If you know someone else who's grieving, call them. At least now you both know what it means to lose something, to lose someone. Grieve together, cry together. So there's really so much that one can do to rise up again. I hope I've been able to answer that question. Yeah.
Yes, you have. You touch on the fact that it's not just about the loss of jobs, loss of relationship, a relationship backing up, or loss of loved ones, even sickness in the family. When you got one person, maybe the wife sick or the husband sick, and that person is constantly in hospital and stuff like that. It kind of have a knock-off effect, not just on the other person who's not sick, but the whole family as a whole.
Yeah.
And if you're not careful, I know people mean well, but some of the words I've heard. Okay, I will give you an example of chat. I was going to ask you a question actually, but let me give this example first. In a marriage where a partner has been either wrongly accused or something has been said about someone, rather than helping to look at what the whole thing is all about, looking at the foundational, the root cause of the stuff. You're telling one person that, you're not praying enough, you're not spiritual enough. That's an attack of the enemy. And I am a Christian. I'm proud to say I'm a Christian, but there's some things that I sit down and I have to reanalyze that seriously. Because it makes you, they mean well, but it makes you lose that confidence. It knocks the confidence down to ground zero, that you begin to doubt yourself. So when you were going through all of this, you said about not picking calls if you don't feel like, and limit the people that you're coming in contact with. They're not saying anything that you want to hear. But did you get anyone saying to you, you're behaving unspiritual? That's the word, unspiritual. Did you get that?
They probably said it behind my back, but hey, who cares? I had a lot of, and it's funny because sometimes, and I feel like if we open this kind of worms, we'll be here for a long time. This religion thing, and like I said, for me, when my son died, I had to, a lot of things that I thought I knew about faith and God, I had to relook it and say, do I really know? Or have I just been speaking Christianese? Because we can do that a lot. You just speak Christianese and say, it must have been something you did. Go and check. What sin did you commit? Or, people say all the type of funny things. And, sadly, or should I say, thinking about now, I might have said something similar to people as well, thinking, oh, if this and this and this is happening to you, then you must have done something wrong. Out of ignorance.
That's of ignorance.
That's why, I don't want us to, it's not about laying blame or anything. It's about education. If we're not educated, if we're not taught the right things to say, or not to even say anything at all, people will keep doing these things and saying these things like it's an attack from the enemy. Jesus dying on the cross. Obviously, Satan, was orchestrating his own plan, but God had a bigger plan. It was God's original plan. I mean, not original, it was, but when Jesus came to the earth, the assignment he had was to come and die, right? Yeah. Well, Satan thought he had his own plan going. So would you say Jesus going to the cross was Satan's plan? No, it was God's plan.
There's a bigger plan.
And then you hear some preachings like, what's this? There's this scripture in the Bible that talks about he'll give you long life, and he will satisfy you with long life. You have to be age 70 and above. And so when a young person dies, so are you saying, what does that mean? Jesus died at the age of 33. So what does that mean? Do you see what I'm saying? So there's so many scriptures that we quote and say, oh, what exactly is long life? And I feel like I'm going off topic here, but I just feel like, there are a lot of things that we need to invite the Holy Spirit to read the Bible with and understand exactly what that scripture was saying. Jesus lived a fulfilled life for 33 years. there are some people who are still on earth, 70, and they've not done half, they've not lived a life of purpose. Do you see?
Yeah.
So it's not, for me, it's not about of course, everyone wants to live long. Everyone wants to live till the age of 100 or whatever. But if you're not living a life of purpose, then why are you here on earth? Each
marking time.
Life of purpose. You must be doing what God has called you to do. And if by the age of, look at Miles Moron and his wife. Would you say that was the attack of the enemy? Probably that God saw, okay, your job here is done. It's time to come home. You see what I mean? So we hear all of the spiritual and Christianese that people say, but we don't even know. God is supreme. He's sovereign. He's sovereign overall. So when someone dies, or when, these things happen, if you're a child of God, as long as you believe that God is good, he obviously he knew before it happened. And this was a journey I had to walk on by myself. I didn't need people telling me, oh, God is a good God. I had to realize it for myself, that God is a good God. And that the fact that my son died when he was 7 months old, and God knew about it and allowed it, I trust him.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that.
Say as well that you mentioned this, that you were angry, and I know I've read that before. That the 7 steps or some steps, I can't remember anyway, for grieving. So for someone out there that is listening and you're feeling really mad right now, so that's normal, right?
Yeah, it's normal. Although interestingly, there are actually there are no stages of grief.
Right.
There is no stage to grieving because people grieve differently.
Different ways.
Some people might feel angry, some might feel anxious, some might feel different things. But that actual 7 stages of grief, the lady who came up with it, Elizabeth Koparos, if I'm getting her name right, that stages was for people who had a diagnosis that they were going to die.
Right.
But then with time, people now took it as a blanket thing that, oh, when you're grieving,
go through
those stages.
You go through this.
But you won't necessarily go through all those stages. So it is so some people feel fixed that, oh, I haven't felt depressed yet. Oh, I haven't felt, and then they feel like there's something. So yeah, some people will feel anger, some people will feel sadness, some people feel different things, but they're not, it's not a linear thing like you must go from
this to that.
That, right.
So, when we're talking about trauma, we said it's not just about anything that can affect our emotional and mental well-being. It's classified as trauma. So during this lockdown, I know of people that being at home has had a massive effect during this lockdown. At some point we see our kids doing stuff and you're thinking, not normally like this, but it's just it made me realize that actually we didn't realize the whole impact of COVID. We just, the things we take for granted now, we kind of like seeing it manifest in a different way. So with people that have been at home during all this lockdown, with the emotional trauma, the mental breakdown for some people they still look normal, trust me, but in their heart of hearts, they know they're down there. What would you advise people, to do? I know we talk about people seeking help with, doctors, but having said that, this is something that mental health and emotional health is something that people don't really go out there to seek help for. What would you advise people to do? How would you advise people at this stage, even if they don't want to? What can they do from looking inward first? What can they do for themselves?
Wow. As you were talking, I feel like a lot of extroverts, people who need other people around them to give them energy, are the ones that have suffered most in this period. Introverts are like, this is my normal life anyway. I'm always feel for them. I truly feel for them. So what I would say to that is that emotions mean energy emotion. So if you find that you're feeling low, one simple thing you can do quickly is change your posture. So if you're lying down, think about it. Anytime you're feeling low, all you want to do is lie down and just, slouch, and you're just like, oh. But stand up, do a dance with your children. Take it, use this time to exercise. Thankfully, I mean, we're wearing masks now. Go out for a run or a walk. If you don't want to run, just go out, let fresh air. That would help. So changing your posture, changing, how you're like, if you find yourself just slouching, get up. And I know sometimes it takes a bit of your mind, like, I don't want to get up, I just want to lie down here, But by just doing that singular act of changing your posture, changing your body language, it goes a long way, it helps a lot. And then journaling helps. Those who like to write out how you're feeling, write it out. Still connect with friends, you can do Zoom calls with your friends if you want to. That way you still feel connected to people. Yes, it's not the same thing like seeing your friends
physically, seeing them.
Well, it helps. Like for me, and it's funny, during the lockdown, because my siblings live all over the world, we now on Sundays we now tend to have like a Zoom call, just to catch up on each other. Before, we were all busy, it was just once in a while. But now we're intentionally, we've set it in our calendar. Okay, every Sunday we'll catch up with the parents and my siblings. So you can do that as well.
No, that's a great one.
That's a good one. So even before they seek help, if it's something that's very, very serious, those are the few things they can actually do, looking inwardly, looking at the available resources to them while they are at home as well. On another note,
can I chip in that I actually, testify to one of the things that Detola said. There's a period in my life that was going through a very dark season, and I was feeling just so overwhelmed with the darkness and not being able to move. And, one thing that I remember that I used to do was do a power jog every morning for 1 hour with my headphones on, and sometimes singing, worship, praising and praying, not even caring who's listening, for 1 hour every morning. And I did that consistently for that period. And I used to feel amazing after that. And from then on, I started to see movements in my life, because I started speaking words as well. And I pasted, what I wanted to do on my bedroom wall. When I came back, I'll speak those words. So it's so amazing, these small things that we can do and change our life.
Yeah, definitely. Words of affirmation helps. Worship music, even if you can't sing, play it around your home. It would change the atmosphere. Change the atmosphere. Yeah, so there are things like that we can definitely apply. Yes.
Okay.
Amazing.
Thank you so much, Tony, for sharing that, and for Detola as well. Thanks so much. I've got one thing. The last time we spoke to you, we said we are waiting to see what's cooking.
Yeah.
And I did say that, the Detola we're seeing then, that there's still more to come.
Yes.
There's still more to come. So can you tell us what's cooking in your kitchen at the moment?
Yay, I can't wait to hear that.
Well, it's before I share what's cooking, it's so first of all, I give God all the glory. When you're going through loss and you're grieving, and I'm saying this for a reason, and you'll see why. Because when my son died, I felt like my brain died. I felt like my creative juices died, because I was in so much pain. But obviously after, I went through like an emotional healing, spiritual healing. It was as if the tap just opened and ideas started gushing and so many things. So now I can't remember if I had started my YouTube channel when we spoke. Had I?
No, you've not.
So I have a YouTube channel now where I talk about productivity, birthing your dreams, anything, that has to do with a working mom's life and living a life of purpose and birthing your dreams. I talk about that. And this, I'm not sure when this is. Oh yeah, we're live. I was going to say, sorry, I thought we're.
It's not podcast. It's not podcast.
On this coming Thursday, Thursday, a dear friend and I, she also lost her baby a few years ago. We're starting a podcast called When Life Stops, a podcast on helping you find new meaning after loss. So that's launching, and we're so excited. We've recorded all the episodes for this season, 13 episodes. I know, I know, right? In fact, after each episode, we'll both be like, wow. Like we're just excited, right? So hopefully people can go find us. We already have a trailer on. anywhere people listen to podcasts, just search for When Life Stops, you'll find it. And then the last thing that is cooking now, I mean, there's more in the pipeline, but this one is a confidence course that I'm running. It's called Boost Your Confidence. I'd written a book a few years ago called Boost Your Confidence. And it was basically, I wrote that book when after I lost my confidence, rock bottom confidence when I was pregnant with my daughter. I was on 9 months maternity leave. But anyway, all the tips that helped me to come out of, to boost my confidence in that season, I wrote in the book. But now, again, like you mentioned, we're on lockdown. A lot of people, it's either one way or the other, the lockdown has affected their confidence. I think I was reading in the newspaper the other day that some people are worried about driving now, after lockdown, because they haven't driven in a long time. So their confidence when it comes to driving has kind of gone down. So you can also imagine people who have lost a job, who have lost whatever, their confidence has been knocked down. So I'm releasing a 6-part course on boosting your confidence, which basically it shares a lot of strategies and tools. And these are the strategies and tools that I use with my one-to-one clients that pay me like thousands of pounds to get their confidence back and change jobs and do all these amazing things they want to do. What I've done is to pull all of that into like an audio program, 6-part audio program that you can listen to on the go. And as you begin to apply those tips and those steps, it would help you raise up your confidence levels again. And some people are even scared of looking for a new job. They know they have it within them, but they're like, oh my God, what if nobody? So all of those negative comments you tell yourself, and then how to handle negativity from the outside world, how to live a life of confidence every day, even when you're feeling low. What can you do quickly to just change your mindset? So I'm quite excited about it. I'm actually doing like a pre-order right now. The actual program launches on 3rd of August, but people can get it now for an introductory price. It's very, very affordable. And yeah, I'm quite excited about that. Yeah.
Ooh. I've just pasted the link down below in the comment section. So guys,
thank you.
Just go there. I also pasted the link to Detola's YouTube channel, I believe. So you can go on there and see and click on.
Yeah, it's so exciting. And now I just sometimes feel like, oh my God, I need a clone because all these ideas just and I'm trying to compare myself to last year when I was in full-blown grieving. I didn't want to do anything. I was just like, I can't be bothered. But even though I knew there was more on the inside of me, but because of all the pain I was going through, I wasn't doing much. But now, to the glory of God, because I am feeling better now. And that's what recovery is all about. Recovery is that you're feeling better. It's that even when you're sad, you're still happy. Joy and grief can coexist. So yeah, I'm in a much better place. Thank God.
Oh, praise God. Thank you so much for sharing that. I was actually looking forward to that. And what really got me was that confidence class, because a lot of people have had their confidence knocked down by situation, what's going on at the moment, by loss of loved ones, job lost, relationship lost, and stuff like that. And one of the things I've learned, especially after speaking to you, I learned a few things then. And then based on what happened, me losing my sister as well, I learned some stuff. But when speaking to you, I learned a lot of stuff. Each person has their own journey. They have their own path, when I say that, there's 7 of us in my family. My elder sister died, leaving 6. And the way we all reacted to her death was different.
Yeah.
So based on what you said the last time, I realized that everyone has got one thing or the other that they're going through now. And the way they react to it is different. And you said about reaching out to other people. Seriously, that works. It works 1,000. It works. I can't even put words into it. It works very well. When you focus on other people, not just focusing on your own bubbles and what you're going through, it actually helps you as well, kind of like distress a little bit and, think of, okay, in this pain, what can I learn from it? What can I do, to like move on in a way? And one thing also is loss of loved ones or anything, how will I put it? The pain doesn't go. You just learn to manage and live with it. It doesn't. Yeah, you have your moments. If I'm right, you have your moments. So one of the things I was going to say, you know, what you talk about the confidence and everything. I'm still going back to that one. Tolu's going to laugh when I say this. I said to Tolu, she's going to laugh. I said to Tolu, I turned 40 and now I don't give a damn. That's what I said to her.
Same here.
That's what I said to Tolu. That's why she's smiling, laughing. Because why I said that is I found out, you know, when you talk about your book that's laid out, you know, slaying. I looked at a lot of things that you were doing. Seriously, I got a lot of books, and I've been, even though I've been kind of busy, but I've been chipping in there and that to like read up on stuff and, you know, get more knowledge, more, you know. And I just feel like, you know what? There's only one me, created for a purpose.
Yes.
Amen.
No man can tell me how to live my life except the one who created me.
Exactly.
Yes.
Why should I live constantly trying to satisfy others?
Yeah.
So I'm slaying.
Yes. Yes, girl.
And I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
That's it.
So the reason why I've gone back to confidence is I found out, especially in African background, the woman mostly gets their confidence knocked over, especially if there's been any kind of loss, either in the family or in a relationship, to the extent that women would live in an abusive relationship just because of that blame culture, of that. So of all of this, I know you said you've got this 6-pack thing going, but how else can you help them? You know, I know there might be some people that cannot afford, this is why I'm saying this, that cannot afford to just say, you know what, I've got that money to just pay for that thing. What else can you do to help them? I'm sorry I'm putting this on you, but it's just something that I'm so passionate about, people being able to stand up tall.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, you've just opened the can of worms, and I hope I'll try, you know, summarize. It's amazing that women, we are so powerful, but somehow society, the enemy, has managed to relegate us and make us think that we are nothing. And that's why, you know, I'm grateful for women like Tolu, women like you, women like myself, who want to be able to tell women that, look, you've got what it takes. And I think it all starts with our mindset. What is the dialogue that is going on in your head? The self-talk. What is the self-talk that you are? What are you saying to yourself? Are you agreeing with all those negative comments? Or are you, who are you going to agree with? Are you going to agree with what God has said about you, that you're wonderfully and beautifully made? And it's so, what tends to happen is somehow, because a lot of women have lost their voice, they're in toxic environments. And as long as you are in that toxic environment, there really isn't much you can do, because you're so choked up in that environment. Everything you hear in there, you believe it. And then like, what can I do? Where am I going to go to? So first of all, I think it's about, even if it means having a little strength, to first of all, get yourself out of that environment. And I know it's hard. There's some situations where you're like, where will I go? This is where you need to begin to ask God to bring help, divine helpers that can help you get out. Because as long as you're in that situation, it's going to be hard to try and do anything else. The first step is to try and get out of that toxic environment that you are in. And again, you know, I'm being careful here, because like I said, there's so many different dynamics to these things. But if there's a way that I can say, Holy Spirit, help me to even first of all get out of here, then you can now begin to breathe and look and say, okay, what is my next step? So getting out is really the first step. And then your mindset. Begin to tell yourself words of affirmation, you know, who are you? Because you mentioned something, Lizzie. There's no one else like you. When God was designing Lizzie, he looked at the earth and saw a problem and said, I need Lizzie to go and fix this. And then he began to design you and put in everything you needed just to come and fix a problem on the earth. So each one of us, our assignments are so unique that no one else can do it the way we do it. Yes, it might look similar to someone else's, but there's a special touch that you have, and there's a nation that is assigned to you. But if you've been knocked down, your nation is there waiting, and there's nothing, they're waiting for Lizzie, they're waiting for Tolu, they're waiting for Detola, but Detola is still feeling sad. She's still, upset. So how are you going to be able to help your nation? There's something I want to say, and I hope it really helps somebody here. Women are powerful, and I'm not just saying that for the sake of it. Think about it. When Jesus was coming to the earth, who were the two parties involved in his conception? Sunday school. So I'm asking Tolu and Lizzie. maybe someone's going to tell us in the chat. Bible quiz. Who are the two parties involved in the conception of Jesus?
Holy Spirit and Mary.
Was there any man involved?
No.
So, what does that tell me? What does that tell you? Women are needed. We are so needed. The world cannot exist without us. Someone there's someone here who needs to hear this. That women are important. Man was not needed. I'm not saying that men are not needed though, but all I'm saying is there are some important things that men need to step aside and let the women come in. The first person that Jesus introduced himself to as the Messiah was a woman, the Samaritan woman. And she's the one that went out to begin to tell people. So I think sometimes we need to take that step back and say, look, I am relevant. I am important. And my prayer for anyone who's feeling so low that they can't even picture it is that you have light in the name of Jesus. That light will come to you. Because when light comes, it will send away all that darkness plaguing you. So, woman, you are needed, you are wanted. Whoever it is that is listening that needs to hear this. There's so much more that I can say, but like I said, we can be here for hours. I can talk about this topic forever.
Oh, thank you so much, Detola. Thank you so much. I've learned a lot from talking to you the first time, from reading some of your books. So I'm going to say to people, if you're a mom, and every mom, it doesn't matter if you're full-time housewife or wherever, we're always super busy. It would be good to get involved with the super working mom group, because trust me, there's a lot to gain from it. Actually, Pastor Folake recommended that. She did. She's like, oh, I know the data and I'm part of that group. It's really good. And I'm like, yeah. And also, boosting your confidence. You got books as well, boosting your confidence. You got Slayed Out as well.
They're all on Amazon.
They're all, I know. I like to Slayed Out. You got I know I am Allotted Amure, but that's the one you did for the Super Working Mom.
Yeah, Super Working Mom. Yeah, so the title of that book is Super Working Mom. But that was part of me not boosting my own confidence. I didn't want to write that book with my real name, so I wrote it under Allotted Amure. But it's on Amazon as well. Super Working Mom. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Detola, for honoring us again with your presence. I like the fact that we're talking about confidence, because this is what we need right now. A lot of people are going through a lot right now, and boosting people's confidence to make them see that there's a bigger picture as well. It goes a long way. People are feeling down, they're feeling down there, but anything we can do to help boost their confidence, raise their hopes, I'm up for it. And thank you for so much for coming online to share with us today. Yeah. And like we said the last time, there's still more coming from your kitchen.
Yeah, there is.
Because you just told us the juice.
Who is sorry, hold on. Sorry, hold on 1 second.
Okay.
So guys, while just filling in for Detola there and for her to come back 1 second. Here she is.
Yeah, sorry.
So I'm gonna hold on to what I was gonna say to after.
Yeah, no, I was going to say that there was a quiz as part of the confidence course as well. The link is once you get to the.
I saw that.
Yes, so that way
it's on LinkedIn actually. I saw it on LinkedIn.
Oh, right, interesting. I put it there, yeah, because someone might be saying, "Oh, I'm fine," but sometimes you need to do an assessment to see exactly where you are, to know, what you need to do. Yeah. So.
Okay, I think we should share that link. I can't find it now. I think we should share that link on in the comment section as well for people to try their hands on it. And thank God that there's the link to all the groups and everything as well, so people can actually follow you as well. And if they've got any questions, they can come and speak to you as well. Before we go, just a quick recap. He said we should acknowledge our pain. We should acknowledge our pain. There's a place of faith as well. We should have faith. We should, if it means blocking out people who are, they don't mean to be negative, but some people just don't know the words. If it means blocking out people, we should do that. If it means being by ourselves and not communicating with anyone for a while, we should do that. And
so it's not like you don't communicate. It's
no, as in negative ones. Yes. Sorry, let me rephrase. Negative ones. Yes. People that are constantly just giving you negative vibes, blocking them out and stuff like that.
Because you definitely need people around.
You need people. You need the support system, but it has to be good ones.
Exactly.
Support system that will boost your morals, boost your confidence, and help you through it. And one of the things I've picked up from here is looking inwardly to boost our confidence. And how do we do that? The things we can do at home, maybe changing your posture when you feel like down there, changing your posture is part of it. Getting up and being active, going for a walk, going for a run, or just dancing, things that we can do in the house to get us out of meh mode into happy mode. So, but these are really relevant, especially with what's going on at the moment. It's not, the world at the moment is not normal, and exactly. I don't think it will ever go back to normal. Yeah. So it's living through this, living through this, and seeing that there's a light at the end of the tunnel as well. This is all what we're passionate about, and this is what we're hoping that everyone that's listening to this can take out of it and act on. Just one more thing because when we started this, I made an appeal. It's on for anyone just joining us. The link is on the comment section. It's for a mom of 2 who has got cancer, who is going through. NHS has already written her off, but she's gone to Germany for they found another way of treating her, which is working at the moment. But she needs our help in raising funds to pay for the treatment. She's got 5 more treatment lined up, and she needs funding for that. So please, can I appeal to all of us to look at the link and make donation. Every little helps. I know it's Tesco thing, but seriously, even if it's just £1, it goes a long way. Every little helps at this moment in time. Thank you so much, Detola, for coming on. Tolu, I'll pass Detola on to you for you to do the honors of thanking our lovely coach.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Detola. We really appreciate you. We can't say thank you enough for coming back a second time. And we're still going to invite you back here because, like you said, there's so much more that you have to give. And I can feel that there's so much in the pipeline. And, we want to continue to enjoy the blessing that you have. So everyone that's watched, thanks for joining. Thanks for listening. This is Inspirational Moment with Precious and Pearls. We are by Precious Pearl Charity. We are a Christian organization. And the mandate that we have is to empower our world, one person at a time. So even if it's one person that we've been able to reach and empower, we know that we're fulfilling God's mandate for us and for this group. So thank you for listening. God bless you. You're a diamond and a pearl, and we're all in the process of shining. So whether you're shining or either you're in the process, God's got your back. Just keep pushing through. So I know that like Detola has shared, like Lydia has shared, we are going through weird times right now with the COVID situation, and many people's confidence, been knocked down and all over the place. But if we use all these tips that we've learned today, I will be applying so much of those things again, just to keep moving forward. If you have someone that's gone through stuff, please share the video with them and be a part of us. And the next two, so we're doing this bi-monthly now. We tried weekly, was a little bit of a push, so we're trying bi-monthly. The next 2 weeks, we're bringing someone on by God's grace. I just had confirmation. I'm an entrepreneur. One of the biggest, he runs one of the biggest chain of health food in West of Africa, I would believe. He's an amazing guy. So either he or his wife, and we're having one of them on here anyway to share the story, how they were able to make that happen. So thanks for joining. God bless you guys. And thanks for, being a part of this, being a part of the podcast, and a part of the of Precious Pearl, or if you're just dropping by to watch, we appreciate you. Thanks, Detola, once again. Thanks, our hostess, the mostest. You're always great and always taking us through a fab time. Thanks, everyone. God bless. Have a wonderful, wonderful week ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tolu. Thanks, Detola.
Bye, everyone.
Cheers.
Bye.